Okay, back with some Kingdom of Heaven play. Checking out this diplomacy number. It says when a card is played to diplomatically influence a power, make the die roll. It doesn't say the number is modified. It says this is modified by the diplomacy modifier on the card. Okay, so when you use where's the card? Who's got a card? Oh, here we are. When you use a card with that number on it, you're taking a hit anyway. You got to add one to your die roll, so it's an automatic, increase. I would have figured that plus one would have helped you, but maybe the designers of the game wanted to do another one. So when I go ahead and try to influence Damascus, I'm making her plus one automatically just for using the card. So I guess you can only use these type of cards as compared to just the plain ones for diplomacy, and you're gonna get a plus one anyway. So that's what we're doing. We're working on that, getting the kinks out, and I'll be back and let you know what the results were of the diplomacy effort to gain Damascus. Be back. All right, we are going to we gotta make a decision whether we want to go for the diplomatic advantage marker or try to influence the emirate of Damascus diplomatically. Oh, shoot. I think we're going to go ahead and play diplomacy. Well, you get an additional one plus the one, so this is really hard. Okay, we're going to go ahead and just try to roll a dice with a plus one and get a three or less. That's what we'll do. Alright. It says here -2 if you control the power's capital. We don't. Events, we don't have no event here that will influence on the card. Let me look at this. Fortifications, you have to field fortifications event. Alright, so the Muslim player will play this card to have a diplomatic influence, and it'll be a plus one on a die roll, and that's all there is a plus one. So trying to get three or less, one or two. Nah, now I gotta do it. Alright, well that wasted that turn for the Muslim player. I guess that's a chance you take. Gathering up these cards here. And I was grabbing a dice. And it is time for, they don't like to focus. Christian players move. We're gonna get some cards. See what happened. That was definitely a gamble. Not worth it. Maybe for the Muslim player. But it's all about the card play. Be back. Alright, so been studying the cards, and I believe I'm going to do it this way. All subject to change, of course. I like to sit back here, and most of the time, it takes me a long time to play the game because most of the time I just look at the board, do a few scenarios in my head. That's why I really like play by email. You get a lot of time to mess around and do a few things instead of being face to face. Either it's all got its advantages. It's not like playing a regular opponent. But anyway, gonna use this for its ops value. It's Christian player. That's enough operations value to activate Manuel. And I think I'm gonna bring him on. There's a bunch of attrition and foraging penalties. But I also have this card here to play after I make a foraging die roll. So I'll make the die roll and then ignore all the results. So that's what we got planned. I'm thinking about just getting forces on the board. I don't see a big threat in forces from the Muslim player yet, but we haven't gone through a season. And he does have a bunch of units over here in his force pool. So we will see what happens. But trying to get him on the board. I'm going to get some of these victory point centers reinforced. So that's what we're going for. We'll be back. I hear a puppy upstairs, so it might be a while. Be back. Like I said, all moves, preliminary moves subject to change, and that's what I'm going to do. I also am going to use this card to try to gain the diplomatic advantage marker. I need a 3 or less with a +1 on my die roll. There is a one modifier, +1 modifier if your opponent has the marker, but they don't. So we're gonna give it a try here. That's a pretty valuable asset. I think I'll try to get it. I'm also thinking about trying to get Damascus over to my side. Realizing that Damascus is the key part. Not firing a shot and doing it through diplomacy. It's a lot easier. So let's do the die roll. +1, 3 or less. Oh, diplomacy is not in the air. And the Crusader states. Alright, well, that'll take care of my turn. I will discard a card here for my failed diplomacy event. Any event on that card was just unrest marker on the Siege City, which is no big deal. But it did have a 2 ops value. So, Christian player down to 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. Alright. And in case I have to go out and take the dog potty or do something when I don't get back to the game in a week, it'll be the Muslim turn. Way back. Alright, now a quick update about that diplomacy roll. Our diplomatic Oz begins, blah 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 blah. Huh. Well, anyway, over here, when a card is played, results of the roll. Hold on a second here. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I had to get this straight, but it says each player may play a maximum of 1 card. Okay, to influence any given power each turn. Huh. Not counting events. And those cards with diplomatic modifiers in the upper left-hand corner may be used. Once a player power has been successfully influenced, further attempts. Alright. So what I'm trying to decide here is how many times you can do this diplomatic influence per turn. I thought it said once. Someplace you can only try to influence a power once per turn, but I haven't found anything that says that. I don't know where I've seen it. So I'll have to look again. And I thought that might have been it. But 1 card each turn. Huh. A turn and not a action round. So that might be it right there. Any given turn, not counting events. Okay, well, I'm using it that way. That's what you're seeing it right there. Each turn, not an action round. So we both did our attempts, and it'll be the Muslim player's turn. According to the rules of my interpretation, no more diplomatic influence die rolls. And as a matter of fact, I don't know if he's got any more cards anyway. That have the little marker up in there. Yeah, that was it. So possible actions will not involve diplomacy. We'll be back. Okay, well, it's a new day. And I was reading this again earlier, and I was thinking maybe you could play 1 card per action round, but on further reading, I think I'm going to stick with the original. What I said in the last video, each player may play a maximum of 1 card, and what it says there is, what it says 1 card is that you can't combine cards. You can only play 1. And up in the upper right, left-hand corner, there are numbers that are negative numbers too. So you have plus numbers and negative numbers. I don't know what that means, but some of them do give you a chance to deduct numbers off that die roll. So you can't use 2 cards. You can only use 1 to influence any given power each turn. Now events is a different story, but yeah, each turn. 1 card each turn. Only those cards with diplomacy modifiers in the upper left-hand corner may be used. Well, that's pretty basic. Once a power has been successfully influenced, for their attempts to influence that power. Remember that, those two words, that power. You can influence any other ones, but not that one. By either side may not be made that turn. All those events again still apply. And I do have a nice example up here where the Christian player had a nice juicy 2 card that he was planning to play, but the Muslim player forestalled him because his diplomatic attempt was successful. So we're going by that. The turn's over and no more diplomacy cards may be played. It is the Muslim player's turn. We'll be looking at his deck and the map. See what his next move is. Be right back. Alright, well, these cards really ain't that useful. Not right now. There's one that's a battle card that'll help if when a battle comes through, but you can see their ops values ain't that good either. What I'm going to try to do is I got a decision to make, and I really haven't even looked at the activation. These are all 1 ops cards, so I might not even be able to activate, but beefing my forces up, I do have units in a dead pile. I think it's only 1. I could transfer up to 2 units at full strength, but only got 1. Might be the only thing I can do. Let me check out. Nope, Zengay is, hold on a second. Okay, yeah, I just checked. Zengay's got a strategy rating of 2. And I need all I got are 1s. So I really couldn't even activate them. The Muslim player's kind of in a pickle. Shoot. So I'm thinking the only thing I could do is maybe strength to get that unit back that I lost to attrition. Moving up to that old position I'm at, Gaston. So might be time to hire some mercenaries. Way back. Alright, then I really don't have no choice, so I'm going to go ahead and try to beef up. You can do what's called vassal moves, and or you could just pass, or discard a card, stuff like that. But I think I'll just go ahead. It's really a bummer because all I got as a Muslim player is 1 unit. But earlier I had the dead units in the Christian force pool and the Christian dead pile. But yeah, he's got 1 unit from the attrition, so we'll go ahead and put him back with old Zenji or Zengay, whatever his name is. Alrighty. Alright, well, I got a call coming in. I'll be right back. Alright then, Christian player's turn. I'm going to try to stick with my original plan before I went for the diplomacy option last round. And that is to get, who is that, Conrad? Hold on a second. Guess we have to do it the old-fashioned way in this Zoom. Oh, Manuel the First. His pretty well strengthened Byzantine forces. Byzantine forces are pretty well weak in this game, I think I found. I think those forces are at least rated a 2 as compared to a 1. They usually are. They only have 1 step. But I could be wrong. But, yeah, we'll be using activation card. And I have 1 here that don't have. These are all pretty relevant events and can be used for other things. But this one here gives me. I don't really need it. What is it? I guess we'll just keep it to Zoom. There you go. So I don't want to do that. So we'll be using that for its ops value. And luckily, the old Manuel isn't that bright. So a 1 ops card will do the trick. We're going to move him. We're going to bring him through the treacherous journey. Major minor. See what goes on. See how he comes in on all that other good stuff. So let me go through the logistics and I'll be right back. Alright, that Christian player plays the Greek Perfidy? What the hell does that say? Perfidy card for its 1 ops value. We'll be moving this army from Constantinople to Iconium, Heraclea, and through the mountain pass to Marcin. Now he has 4 movement points, but as you can see here, That mountain pass cost an extra one, so can't really get to the old Tarsus. Can't really get there yet, but I'm getting close. Now what we'll have to do is roll for attrition because we've gone through some rough terrain, mountains, and a mountain pass. And we always got to roll for that trip from Constantinople. So we will let you know. We will be right back. Alright, movement correction. Costs 3 movement points, it says in the rules, for this particular mountain pass between these two cities here, so I had to move him back. He can only use up 2 of his 4 because he don't have enough to take the 3, so it'll cost him 3 to get to Marsan. Then maybe he can move 1 over there, but yeah, he's got to stop there. I'll be back with the finding out who made it and who didn't. Be back. Alright, for Manuel's little journey across Asia Minor. He's starting off with this 3-4 column. He's got 4 units he's bringing with him. But we go down here to the foraging modifiers to the attrition value is the key. Attrition values. Space with a friendly stronghold. Plus minus 1. Nope, none of that. Harsh terrain, 1 per space, so that makes it a 5. Again, the thing of it is, if he leaves from Constantinople, it could somehow stop at a friendly stronghold and negate all the foraging modifiers. But alright, so that's a 5. Mountain Pass with plus 2. So it'll be a 7. Enemy stronghold, no. Crossing a minor. Asia Minor would be 5. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And being shadowed, no. Starvation modifiers, so we're all good there. So we're at a 12. We're going to go ahead and roll a dice. You get a 5. Okay, after we roll the dice, so the Christian players can play that card. Supplies captured. Play immediately after you make a foraging die roll. The results of the die roll are ignored. Killer card, killer game. So we're good. Manuel made the cross. What would that have been? With a 12. And he rolled a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh. That trip would have cost me 2, probably a unit. 2 steps. Number of steps lost, yeah. So there you go. On to the, straighten up a little stacky stack. Manuel coming across a lot of rough terrain now. I included that mountain pass in that, but he didn't cross that yet, so oh well, either or. It would have been negated, so it wouldn't have been that bad for him. But I did use the card, and maybe I should have used it for the mountain pass. No, I had to take a number. I had to take a 5 plus 5 for that cross in Asia Minor, so yeah, it was a good card to play. So he's at least got there unhindered. Puzzle players, action round.